There is a new report involving the Toronto Blue Jays and a potential trade for Ketel Marte. Yesterday, Jon Morosi came onto MLB Network to talk about the three-time All-Star Ketel Marte and his potential trade market. He mentioned there's about a 50-50 chance Marte gets traded this offseason. And among the teams that have checked in on Ketel Marte are the Toronto Blue Jays. And what makes the Blue Jays so special is they're not actually on Ketel Marte's limited no-trade clause, meaning the Diamondbacks could trade Ketel Marte to the Blue Jays without his permission. But if the Blue Jays were to trade for Ketel Marte, that suddenly raises a big question. What happens to Bo Bichette? What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Blue Jays Today, coming to you from the Sports Interaction Studio. And today, we're going to be breaking down Ketel Marte, what his trade value could be looking like, and if the Blue Jays do get it done, what would the team look like? And also, most importantly, what does that mean for Bo Bichette? Before we get into it, though, I encourage you guys to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Blue Jays offseason rumors and news. So first things first, let me break down Ketel Marte for you if you're not familiar with his game. Ketel Marte, in my opinion, is the best second baseman in all of baseball. In the last couple years, he is truly hitting his prime. He is 32 years old. His birthday was just a month and a half ago, so he is right there, smack dab in the middle of his career, and he has been, my God, phenomenal. Over his entire career, he's got an 823 OPS. He's hit 171 homers, batting average of 281, a career WAR of 35.6 according to Baseball Reference, OPS plus of 121 plus. I mean, these are just phenomenal stats. But like I mentioned, the last couple years, he has been out of this world. 2024, he was MVP 3 in the National League, and that was amongst guys like Shohei Ohtani and Juan Soto. He was right there, number 3. And last year, you don't want to scoff at that. That was a phenomenal year he put up. 893 OPS for those Diamondbacks, and the WAR numbers are just phenomenal. He's acquired over 10 WAR in the past 2 seasons. So you're getting a guy right in the middle of his prime. If I were to do any future projections, I would expect at least maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 more years out of Ketel Marte. But then, of course, that old age bug is going to eventually catch up to some people, and maybe it could be right around the corner for Ketel Marte. But point being, right now, he is awesome, and anybody would want this guy on his team. Now, that's mostly the bat. And the baseball savant numbers, they really do back it up. The expected batting average, expected slugging is amazing. And on a Blue Jays team, they're looking for guys who can not strike out and earn walks and make lots of contact. Well, as you can see right here, he does all of those things. And he's not half bad of a fielder. Outs above average, he's in the 74th percentile. Arm strength is okay. It's a little bit below average. Running speed, that's obviously going to go away with age. He's only at the 29th percentile, but he's overall a very good baseball player. Now, you see how good Ketel Marte is, but what makes him even more tantalizing is the fact that this guy is going to be around for a long time. Looking over at his contract, and look how cheap that is. For 2026, a guy in the middle of his career that's putting up MVP votes back-to-back years, he is only getting paid $16 million next year. And the year after that, $12 million. Now, age 34, age 35, age 36, he's getting paid 22 million again. But at that point, that type of deal might be a steal in, 2028, 2029, 2030. That could be looking like a steal at the point. People are going to be getting paid monstrous amount of monies unless the CBA has something to say about that. But you're totally happy with that. Then he's got a player option for $11.5 million at age 37. He may or may not just pick that up. We'll have to wait and see. But that's what makes him so interesting. But that's also what makes him very, very expensive. Now, I have this baseball trade values thing to look at right here. They've updated their website where I can't directly look at, what would the Blue Jays give up in terms of value for Ketel Marte, but you can get an idea of how much he would cost. Ketel Marte, in this example trade where he goes over to the Pirates, he has a value of 60.7, but you can see going the other way is a decent amount of prospects. So the Blue Jays, if they want to Ketel Marte, with that type of deal attached to him, they're going to have to give up probably a top 3 prospect, maybe even a top 5 as well included, and some everyday ready players, because I think the Diamondbacks right now are doing a little bit of a rebuild, not necessarily, or excuse me, a retool, not necessarily a rebuild. We'll have to see how the rest of their moves play out, but they'll probably want some guys to play every single day. So the Blue Jays, if they are going to be in a Ketel Marte, get ready, folks. They're probably going to be giving up a decent haul. Now, I want to circle back to that fielding because this is going to be a big talking point in this video. Ketel Marte is known as just a second baseman right now. I know that right here it says shortstop and center field. Well, it's been a long time since Ketel Marte has played really any of those positions. When you look down here, what type of positions he's played, last year, it was just second base and a little bit of DH. Of course, everyone's going to have turns DHing in MLB and with their teams at some point. In 2024, he only played one other position other than second base and DH, which was shortstop, for just one game. Now, I really want to highlight this is the outfield spot, because if the Blue Jays were to acquire Marte, it would make all of our problems a little bit easier and more easier to solve if he had the ability to play some outfield. In 2023, he only played 2 games in outfield, which was center field. And then before that, you got to go all the way back to 2021, where he was 27 years old and he played half the season, 71 games in center field. Now, at age 32, I don't know how much of his legs he's got left of him to play some center field. And obviously, I think on the Blue Jays, he wouldn't be center field, probably more of a corner outfield. He would have to make a transition, but the reason why I'm bringing that up is because you've got a guy like Bo Bichette that the Blue Jays are looking at, and you could see how very quickly things get complicated if you add Marte and Bo Bichette is still on the free agency market. Let me paint this picture for you right now. If you add Marte, who is right now looking like just a second baseman, if you're not looking to move him around, then he would acquire that second base bag. Well, what do you do with Andres Gimenez? You can't put him on the bench. You've already traded for him last year. You commit a lot of money to him moving forward. And you know what you saw in the postseason. He was pretty damn good at defending shortstop. He would move over to shortstop. Well, I think you know where I'm going with this. Where does that leave Bo Bichette? I mean, you can't put him at third base. What are you going to do with Ernie Clement and Addison Barger? And I don't think, honestly, no offense, Bo Bichette, he's got the arm for a third baseman. Don't really want to put him in the outfield because he doesn't have the legs for it either, right? Bo Bichette is kind of destined to either, we're going to force him into a shortstop position, or what we're all looking at right now is play second base. So as you can see, folks, things get pretty messy when you're considering Ketel Marte's market, because inevitably, if you want to go and trade for this guy, not only are you going to have to give up a whole lot, but you're also going to have to probably give up on your dreams of getting Bo Bichette back on this team, which brings me to my conclusion. I think the Blue Jays only pull this trigger if they know for certain that they're not going to be able to get Bo Bichette back. Either a team has outpriced them, Bo Bichette has other desires, and he will not be coming back to the Toronto Blue Jays. If they feel like that is going to happen, then they'll probably go make a trade for Ketel Marte, or at least they will try, because I'll be honest, I don't want to necessarily give up a lot of prospects for Ketel Marte. He's an awesome player, and he's right in the middle of his career, and I think that's going to absolutely help us win right now. But as you can see, he is up there in age, and I don't know how long he's going to last there. So for me, I would much rather still get the young 27-year-old Bo Bichette, who I know he can't play defense. I know he can't run around the bases, but I know for certain he's one of the best hitters in baseball. I would still take that guy who could probably have 5 more years left of prime, maybe 6 more years left of his prime than Ketel Marte. But if we go trade for Ketel Marte, I certainly wouldn't be butthurt because he is a phenomenal player. We'll see what happens, folks, but that's the latest on Ketel Marte and the Blue Jays market. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you want to trade for Ketel Marte? Hit that like button, smash the subscribe button. Also, hit that hype button if you're able to. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, go Jays go.